Well, look what we got here, guys. Issue 15 of Build the Ghostbusters ecto-1. There's a nifty photo of what's inside. And I have a nice little picture of the upper area of the car. Looks pretty good. The stages we're going to cover today is 50, 52, 53, and 54. But just wait, guys. We got a surprise for you coming up in one of the stages. That's right, guys. Look at that. We got ourselves a self-adhesive rear carpets with metal grille and trim provided by yours truly, I guess you could say, or by the one and the only Mike Lane Mods for the eaglemoss / fanhome Ghostbusters ecto-1. So check this out, guys. It's gonna be a real hoot today when we get to this stage, because it's gonna really spice up how our car is going to look once we get all the components that we'll be having. They're all wrapped up nice and neat inside here. So just a quick little message for you guys. Want to just say thanks to Mike Lane Mods for letting us have these awesome, cool upgrades for our car. All right, and of course, we'll always be checking out his site because sometimes he just has some really interesting stuff, especially if you have other models going on. But without further ado, we're going to keep on going here and get on started with our model. So hang in there, guys. We're going to show you how we're going to be able to do all the Mike Lane mods all up in stage 52. So hang in, guys, because we got more treats towards the end of this video. Guys, stage 51. We got all the package right here. Let's go ahead, open it up, put it all together. Okay, so for stage 51, our first step is to basically put these two pieces together and then grab this little piece, and then we're going to place them on top of our little workstation that we were working on in the previous video. And so here is our workbench. We have our tabletop part, or at least our top half here. We have our pieces. I put out some BP screws so we can just get moving along with this. So what we're going to do first things first is I'm going to just place this down, and I'm going to put these two pieces together. All right, we got one side facing up, and then you got another side just like so. Okay, and then you have another side just like so. Real simple. Just go ahead, mount it on top. This is a note for you guys. It is the flat side that you want facing up, so that way this piece goes downwards. So just place it right inside. Once you do that, you're going to put in BP screws going here and here. There it is. Now it's all done. So of course, as it shows in the book, you're going to put it into figure B, and you're going to basically spin this around real quick just so you guys know. You see these two big holes, obviously, right? That is where we're going to put our piece. We're going to line it right up with those two big holes. Now they're there. Look at that. It's already putting some awesome bling, I guess you could say, or putting some awesome view on right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some BP screws and we're going to put them in here and there. All right, guys. So this is pretty easy. Once you do everything, we just have this one little piece. You're going to be placing this just where I put it here. Once you place it in here, you're going to go ahead and put in some BP screws in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on. Okay, so all you folks don't get too confused, okay? I put on this piece. I put my BP screws in here. I put the BP screws for our piece here for 51 Charlie. All right, so 51A is screwed in by two BP screws onto the workstation, and then 51 Charlie is screwed in by some BP screws all along here. So I mean, we're moving along pretty quick. Hopefully everybody at home is keeping up with us. So we're kind of just kind of enjoying this now. This is becoming a real treat to be working on all these different steps now. So it's a great adventure, guys. So without further ado, let's go on and move into step 2 of our stage 51. So for step 2, this is going to be very tricky, okay, guys? We're going to be introducing ourselves to some zip ties to this model for the very first time. Okay, and it's 2 of these, so we're gonna have to like snip them and all that once we are satisfied with what we got. However, if you're wondering which one it is, it's going to be 51 Delta, and it's going to be the 2 shortest hoses. And so we're going to go ahead, place them in. They're going to get placed in. 2 will go right here. Then it'll run along. One will go in here, and then another one will go in on one of the little holes right over here. Okay, so now we have them in. They're going to look really nice once we do these zip ties. All right, but for right now, there's no zip tying yet, so don't be trying to jump ahead or anything. But once we have every wire put in, we'll be able to zip tie it. However, right now we have it looking pretty nice. Seems like it's a little wonky, but we're gonna get there. So our next one is going to be really simple. What we're going to do is take 51F and 51F, and we're going to put them in here and then run them around just like we did. 51F is going to be going here and here, and then we're going to spring it down here to 2 ports, which is going to be on the inside. All right. So there are those. They're in there. Oh, one came out. How amazing is that? So there it is. They're in. Now we're just going to attach them to the 2 holes right over here on this side. That way we can put in some more hoses, guys. And there you have it, guys. They're in and good to go. So now we're going to take our long one, and that one's going to be quite the doozy because it's still got to run along with these wires, but it's going to be on the inside. So there's 2 slots on the inside here that we're going to run them through. They're going to come around, and then when we're done, they're going to come around and kind of just go over these cables and then swoop down into the front area. So what an adventure, guys. We're moving along here with step 1. I make a correction. That is step 2 of stage 51. So I grabbed our long cords. I mean, they are super long. I'm going to go ahead, place one inside. Once I place that inside, I'll place the other one inside, and then we're going to run it across down here so this comes out like that. So now, guys, we are finally going to put in our zip ties. Now, these zip ties, if this was shorter and look slim, I wouldn't have done zip ties. But we're going to basically just kind of crunch all these together, and then we're going to basically utilize the 2 that we got. And just remember these long ones now, they got to come around. So be very vigilant on how you're doing these cables. All right, you still want to have like a little bit of bunch up and a little bit of that, but you want to have it in 2 key locations. And I think where I have my fingers are the 2 key locations that we want to do, and it also matches up with what's in the book. So without further ado, let's get the zip ties on. Here it is out of the plastic. It looks like this on the bottom, very dark, and I guess you can say it's just been done up real good. And so everything looks pretty clean, pretty decent. It's been sitting away for a while, so I don't really see much of, except for this little blip here, but I'm thinking that that's probably going to be covered up. So what we're going to do is, one, they want us to put the workstation on. But I think before we put the workstation on, we're going to get on with the Mike Lane mods for this section right here. So that way we can make our car look a little bit better than this. Because, I mean, this is all we're putting on. And it says that we're going to be just basically taking, I'm going to bring this back for you. And we're just going to be taking this and just plopping it on. And I think that looks okay, but I mean, come on, guys. You really want your car just looking like a regular ditzy model when you open up that door, or do you want it to have carpets? Well, I know I want the carpets, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, take this piece off, and we'll start working on this with our Mike Lane mods. So here we have it, everything right here is right here. Also, here's the link so you can follow along and be able to look on your computer screen to get all the stages done up. But what we're going to do is help you out by showing you how we're going to go through all the steps from A all the way up to step H. So much like we did for the front, we're going to do the same here, and we're going to show you. All right, obviously A is our big carpet, so that's going to cover up all that bubbly little floor there, and this is going to go right on top. Then after that, we're going to be going into step B, where we're going to put our wall up. Then we're going to go into C, D, E, F, G, and H, and then we'll be good to go. So without further ado, I think we should just get on and moving. But I wanted to mention this here, these nice little trim pieces, and I also opted to have this as well, so that way we have a vent, because I thought it would look really nice. So like I said, if you go down to Mike Lane Mods, he's got all this stuff. He's got options for you. You can make this car into anything you'd like with his mods. So yeah, but I think we should just get on with building this up, guys, and I'm going to show you all the steps. So hang in and then let's enjoy the ride. All right, so here we have it. This is step one. Step one, you just kind of want to place it in. You want to preset so you have an idea of where you're going to put it. Once you've done that, you're going to want to set it up. And you're going to want to set it up to where you peel off, okay, a little corner here, and get things going. Remember, these are very tight adhesives, so once you put them on, that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm just making sure that I start at the right point here. Now you can start anywhere you'd like, all right, but I choose to start here for some reason, and it's not working. So we're going to try it from this angle. Maybe this angle. Let's do from here. All right, so there we have it, right? Peeled that back, nice and nifty. All right, so I'm going to place it in just like so, ever so nicely, because like I said, we only get one shot at this. So I want to make sure that when I do this, it goes in exactly how I want it. So we're just going to place it inside, line it right up. Looks like it wants to go in nice and easy. It's good. So far, so good. All right. Okay, and there it goes. Just kind of line it up. It's going in nice and easy. Everything seems to be lining right up. Okay, now that we're on the last clip, make sure it all lines up with those holes. Oh no, I don't like how straight it didn't go on. So we're just going to peel up a little bit here. And we're going to make sure that it lines up right. So there it is, all lined up, nice and flush, nice and set. I think it came out really good, and the bottom looks good. You're going to see some whiting on the edging, but remember, we still have more carpeting to lay down. So now, for step 3, it is to put this in, because step 2 is obviously to place this carpet in. So what we're going to do now is place this in here. I'm going to put it right along here, and I'll show you what it looks like. And there it is, all placed in, nice and snug like a bug. And that looks really good. So, all right, now our next phase is to put the piece of carpet right along here. So we're going to put the carpet here, and that's going to be this long piece, and we're just going to kind of pre-prep it, make sure everything fits nice and snug, and then once that's in there, then we're just going to knock it right out. And so there it is, all done up, placed in there nice and evenly, looks pretty sharp. So now we have to move on to our next step. Our next step is to place this in there. I do want to let you guys know that I did do one thing when we came over here to make it all flush. What I used was my little tweezers here, the ESD 14s. I went down, kind of just went like this, went along the edges, and then went this way. And I did that as I went along, so that way it would be there. There ended up being just a slight smidge of some excess on here, but I think that's going to be covered up, and so I'm not too worried about that. But for other than that, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on. What I do is same thing as I did before. I'm just going to line it up like this, and I'm just going to go like this. That's all I'm going to do, because it's a lot easier to do it that way than it is to go all the way across. And there you have it, all placed in, nice and smooth. All the bumps have been taken care of. Little one right there, but that's okay. And so now there it is, all set up, ready to go. So now we move on, because our next phase is to put on the grill piece that's going to go right here. Here's our grill piece. It's right here, and this is the adhesive. It goes all the way around. So once you peel the 3M away, the next phase is to place it into its little slot. So we're going to place that right in there, show you what it looks like. So there you have it. It's all placed in there, nice and even, nice and smooth. I like the way it looks so far, guys. I think this looks pretty good. I mean, with all the carpets, I mean, once we put the trim, you'll see all this disappear, and it'll look really spiffy in the end. But without further ado, let's move on to step 9. Actually, I stand corrected. Step 9, we already did that, and so we got step 10 is where we placed it in. So let's move on to our next. Okay, so I got some trusty glue here. It's possibly going to work. We're going to put a couple dabs in, and then we're going to place this one here, this one here, and then this one along here to trim it out, make it look really good. That's our next step, guys. So let's give it a try. Let's see how it comes out. So whatever you do, do not use the extra thin glue. This did not work. However, I did look on the site, and it shows you that you have to use super glue. For the brief interruption of the dogs barking, someone walked by, so they're protecting the shop for us, guys. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna tell you the type of glue that I did use, because I didn't have super glue. I used this one, super thin glue. Still the same thing I use on my regular plastic models, and it seemed to work just fine. Got it all nice and snug. Waited 3 seconds, and it worked out pretty good. So we're going to do the same thing for this side and this side. Now you're going to see a little gap here. Don't worry, because remember, we are putting the workstation on here. So there is going to be some spots that you're not going to see. So never fear. We got you covered here, guys, at the Thompson Model Shop. I'm going to show you how this car is going to come out looking real good. The goal is try to make it look as real as the actual car did, as best we can. Pictures also will be provided later on into the video, so that way you can see all the steps. Alright, and so that piece is in. Looks pretty snazzy. Now we do our final one, which is going to be on this side. And you're going to put the flat side facing this way. And then you're just going to place this sucker right into place. It should go on nice and easy. So don't be fearful of it. It'll work just fine. And there you have it. All the trim is placed on. It came out looking really good. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think it came out real nice. Real nice. Got a little something going on here. I don't know what that is, but I think I think I might have rubbed it a little too hard on there. But yeah, it came out really good, guys. It came out really good. I like the way that came out. That came out really good with the carpet and everything. So trim looks pretty snazzy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to our next thing. And our next thing, probably didn't think we were going to have it, but we do. See, this side here also is going to need some carpeting. So we're going to go ahead and place our carpets in. All right, first things first, we have this piece, and then we have two smaller pieces that'll go on these sides, one piece that'll come right across here, and then we have one more piece of trim that'll be coming across the top and the sides. So without further ado, let's get on with our next little step here, guys. So there you have it. First step, all done. Our next step is to place in the back wall here. So we're going to place that back wall in. Once we place that in, then we're going to put in our two side panels. There you have it. And the panel is in, nice and smooth, nice and flush. Everything's looking pretty snazzy, guys. So what's going to happen next is we're going to then take and put a piece of fabric here and a piece of fabric here. Alright, so our carpet is in. Everything is looking snazzy. So the next phase is to grab our metal pieces, place them on top, and we are done with all that, at least that part. So I'm going to go ahead, put in our trim, and show you what it looks like. And so guys, we have completed our Mike Lane mods. We have placed all the carpets in on both this side and this side. So once again, big ol' thanks to Mike Lane mods. Big ol' thanks. Like the little spin it around, but I can't. I wanted to spin it around, but I guess that's not going to happen. So we're going to say thanks again for making modifications here for step 50 or stage 52. And you guys at home, thank you for watching so far, because we're going to get back to putting all the pieces that we need to here onto stage 52. So here we are, guys. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put some DP screws into these four pieces here, which are going to line up with our four pieces here, 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 and here. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to mount this on, flip it upside down, and screw it in from the other side with our DP screws. So basically you're just going to come here, line it right up. Chair's making a lot of noise today. Once you've kind of lined it up, you're going to see how it goes. Now these wires here, I'm thinking about using some super glue, but we're going to see how everything goes along with today's video. If things don't seem to show that we're going to tie these down, then I'm going to go back, use super glue, and what was my train of thought? There it is. We're going to super glue this back down from the zip ties to the frame. But without further ado, we'll take our DP screws that I have off this camera, and we're going to flip it upside down and start screwing in the four spots. Okay, those four spots are basically here, here, and then the two here. And that's it, guys. everything is in and it's all screwed into place. And as you can see, this looks pretty sharp with the carpet in it, and instead of the other aspect of just having it with this little grainy floor here. So I'm beginning to really love how this is turning out here, guys. And I hope you guys at home are enjoying how this is all coming out. So of course, with step 52, our next piece is to add on some more. So we're going to add and make this even bigger. So if you think this can't fit on the camera right now, boy, it ain't gonna fit on this camera for much longer. So we're gonna work something out here in the shop here, and maybe we can get it in there. But if we can't, then it all depends on how we do our editing. But we do have to add another piece right here. So we're gonna go ahead and add that piece right on in. Okay, guys. All right, guys. And in comes the piece that we are going to be adding to our model here. We're going to be basically using some NP screws. Now that we have the NP screws in, we're going to take our two LP screws, place them in here and here, so we can be completed with stage 2 of stage 52. And of course, here it is, stage 52, all completed and good to go. We now have our front seat put in. We got the back area here done up. I do recall there was some more chairs somewhere in this region, so be prepared. We're probably going to be putting some more chairs in here. But yeah, now back here behind the chairs, there's still some screw holes, so we're going to be adding some more back here. But don't worry. All right, we got plenty of room for that. But this is really coming out pretty stunning, guys. I'm very impressed so far, and it's like I just don't want to stop. But with all the editing and the filming of this, it makes it a little slower process. Okay, but I think this looks really good. So that's it for stage 52. So we're going to move on to our next stage, stage 53, in our little build here of the ecto-1. So here we have it, guys. All the parts for stage 53. We're rocking and rolling here, guys. Moving along. So this looks like we're going to be putting a panel together with all kinds of bells and whistles and such. So without further ado, let's get on here and start putting it together. Okay, so for step 1, it's really simple. We're just going to take this piece, place it on top of here, and that goes in just like so. Okay, so don't be worried. Okay, just remember, okay, that it's got to go through these little holes. So there's only one way that it'll go on. Okay, so you'll place it in there, it'll go through. Now if you have any blemishes or anything like that, or crooked pieces, it's not gonna fit right. Okay, so you're gonna hear all that snapping and popping and stuff, and that means it's gonna go in there. All right, once it's together and inside there without any issues, you're gonna see all these little bells and whistles and panels and such all kind of look kind of different and such, so it's gonna be cool. But we're gonna take 2 EP screws and we're gonna put them inside here and here. Voila, easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. So now you have your short and your tall. So we're just going to place these two in their little slots in here and here, and the tall and the short one here. And then we're going to hold those in with KP screws. All of it's done. All the pieces are in. Short side, long side. Looks pretty snazzy. Outstanding, right? So we're going to move on to our next step. So our next step is going to have a lot to do, okay, guys? So first things first, we have this side. And this is where we're going to put in our little panels. Okay, so these two are going to go here. There's a little spot for it to click into place. So you put it in, it'll click right into place. And then we're going to be using some GP screws for all this, okay? So don't be shy. Step right up. All right, because we're gonna get this a rolling. All right, so now these pieces are in. We'll grab our GP screws and we're gonna put them in here, 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 and here. That's done. We're gonna put our little computer on. Now the computer only goes on one real way. All right, you don't want it to go this way or anything. You kind of just want it to go the up and down way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place this in, and then once we place it in, it's gonna fit nice and snug right in there, and you're gonna hold it in there with 2 EP screws. So there it is. The EP screws are done, and we have our nice little screen. I think it's coming out looking like a real little little box here. So our next step is real simple. These things, the little handles, they just kind of click into place. So we're just gonna go ahead, click them into place. Once they click into place, we'll be good to go. All right, so with those clicked into place, our next piece here is to start putting in our left and right pieces. All right, so thankfully enough, both left and right, they match. I don't know why I'm yawning in this video. I have no idea, but we're gonna let that yawn slide, okay? So what's gonna happen is you lay it flat and you're gonna line it up just like so. All right, and it'll line right up and it'll go right in. Oh, sorry, wrong side. Wrong side. Okay, so you're gonna line it up just like so. Okay, so because the way they have it is that you're lining it up so that way, yeah, I was right. Yeah, so you're lining it up just like so. Now, like I said, guys, this isn't rocket science. Okay, we're just putting things together by following the pictures. So we have that piece done up, and then we're going to complete the box by putting it on this side as well. And it slides right into place. Once that's done, we go and do our final step where we take some IP screws and we're going to put them into these 4 slots. We're going to take our panel here, just as you see it. We're going to flip it around real quick, and then we're going to lay this down. This piece comes right into place and it holds everything right up. So we're just going to put that panel in there, and now it's all lined up. So we're going to get our IP screws, guys, put those in. And so now it's all completed. I do have to say that these 2 holes here need to be away from this side. So if you're following along on the book, just make sure that your box, when you're creating this, is facing exactly like it did in the book. Because we here at the shop, we had it like this, and we were like, what the? Until we looked at the manual over here and realized that we had this on this side when it's actually supposed to be on this side. So yeah, go figure. It's hot in here. It's a hot day outside, and the AC doesn't want to kick on as fast as I would like it to. But that's okay. We're going to move on anyway. So without further ado, let's go on to step 2 and put our panel on top of this. So just so you know, on step 3 here, you have the flat side facing up, okay? On the first image, it kind of has it at an angle because they want you to see. So we're just going to flip it up like this for you guys at home to see. Now, long side, short side, okay? What we're going to do is going to flippy, okay? Because obviously it's got to go this way. Now, I'm looking in the picture here, and it is saying something about this being at the top and this being at the bottom. So we're just going to take a little sidebar here, flip this around, and put the short ones on this side and the long ones on this side. So just hang in with us, guys. So the correction has been made, and we are going to match it. All right. So the long side of this bar here and the short side. So what's going to happen is short one lines up with the hole on this side, and the long one lines up with this hole. So what we're going to do is lock it into place here. So that way all we have to do is apply the screws. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. So we're going to take one screw, put it in on this side, and we're going to do the same thing for all four. So there it is, guys. The pieces all together for this step. And I hate to tell you this, guys, but that's it for stage 53 so far. So this is pretty good. All right. Disclaimer: if you got dogs in your model shop, they're a great tool, but they bark at some opportune times. But we're moving along here, guys. So let's get on here with stage 54. I think we've seen enough of this little piece. I'd like to know where we're going to put that, and I'd like to share that with you guys, even though I know behind the scenes where it's going. And some of you guys who've studied the car really good know exactly where this is going. But you know what? We're going to move on to our next step, and we're going to go into stage 54. Here we are, guys, on our final stage of this video. We are making it. Boy, oh boy, what an adventure this has been. We are now on stage 54. So without further ado, let's go build this box real quick. All right, so as you can see here, guys, we're going to be putting some pieces in. So we're just going to slide these in, and they're going to slide in just like so. All right, and once they slide in, we're good to go. All right, so they're slid in. All right, our next phase is to place this right on top. Okay, and it's nice and snug. The reason why is because the black side and then the silver sides are on the side, but the black side has all this, needs to be facing towards you, so that way you can put all these pieces in, and then you just want to put it in. Because like I said, follow the book, can't go wrong. So now I have my 4 AP screws. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in so we can move on to step 2. And so we're sorry to inform you, but the camera did not record at the correct amount of time. There was some issues with our clicker that allowed us to videotape. But there, as you can see, is the end product of what we were putting together. And so we just kind of just kept going and giving you some more behind the scenes and how it really works. And it kind of just let you see it. So here, we also had another part where we had to place the 2 loose cables that you can see there that are just kind of just flopping in the wind. We decided to just show you how we put them in there. So I placed the piece through. We went right through that little opening that we created at the top. And at this point, this is where you would have to attach the hoses into the little holes placed on the back side on the bottom there. So we just go ahead and we started putting them in. It was a long process. The cables were a little bit of a pain in the butt to get them in there and to position them just right. And we ended up with a little bit of slack, but I was afraid that if we cut them, it wouldn't be right. So now we go into where we're going to be placing it into its little spot, or as you can say, its little home inside the vehicle. So it was a little finicky because we had all those hoses, but you know, we worked it out. So as time went on, we had to make a couple adjustments, as you can see here, just to kind of make it look good and presentable, you know. So when you open up the doors, it doesn't look like a garbled mess. So once I did that, I then would have to place in all the screws to kind of lock it in place. So I grabbed all the screws. Now I'm going to get ready to basically place the screws in. I've picked the 2 that I want to use. Then once I've done that, I go ahead and start screwing it in. And as you can see, I screwed it in on the other side, so I'm just showing you how I screwed it in on that tiny little area. I used another screwdriver just because it was a little bit longer than the one that was issued for this car, and it worked out perfectly great. Here I'm going to just verify my work, make sure everything is good before we started videotaping and showing you the end product. Having to show you the end product is very important because we want to make sure that you guys see that it looks good at the end. And plus, if we showed you all this time that we took to do this, the videos would be 10 times longer. So what we do here is we just verify all of our work, do QC right on it. All right, guys. So due to some technical issues and then here it is, footage, the end product was lost in the editing process and such. So here's what we're gonna do for you for stage 54. Okay, we have all of our carpet in and everything. So we still have our hose issues. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you that we placed this in, and this came in really nice. I think so. So what we're going to do is do this. Just basically show you that everything came in. Now, there's a screw, an IP screw, goes right inside down there. All right, and then the other screw is right there. So what we're going to do is just show you that that's what we did. We also put in the hoses down here, those long hoses. They came in, went underneath, came from underneath, and they're there. All right, and then we still have our carpets done up here. All right, so that's pretty cool. And we still have all of our stuff here for the front of the car. So we have pretty much completed everything. We had to put everything together, but if you're following home and whatnot, then you'll be able to see it in your manual or your book or binder or issue, whatever you'd like to call them. But we'd like to say thanks for watching us, and by all means, keep on modeling. And if you like everything that you're seeing, go ahead and hit that like and share, and also to subscribe, so that way you get everything up to date on what's going on here in the shop. But all in all, I think it came out really good, guys. We're looking pretty good. So stay tuned for more. And thanks for stopping by, guys, and keep on modeling.